Hello, this is Michael Ellis, and I have the total answer to all our energy crises for you. Now, Nikola Tesla knew this, and he had an answer, but it was not as efficient as what I'm going to explain to you. So here it goes. Nikola Tesla knew that the atmosphere and the sun and the stars and all that gave off neutral particles that impacted his metallic receiver if it was highly polished and wasn't reflective at all, or was smooth, that didn't have a rough surface. It would receive these particles, especially if it had a plastic coating and it was nice and polished. It would receive these particles and charge a capacitor. Then he could take that charge and move it over into a coil and get usable electricity out of it, like a spark gap sort of thing. So, and do an oscillation and move motors and light bulbs and all that crap. So basically, what he was using was what we know nowadays as neutrinos. So these neutrinos come off the nuclear reactions that are occurring in the sun and the stars and the galactic center. It's everywhere. It goes through us. It's available day and night. It goes to the planet, the core of the planet. It just goes through everything. As Colonel O'Neill said on Stargate, Nintendos go through everything. So that's it. That's the answer. It's available. It's everywhere. It comes out of Organite. Everything. So what we have to do to get these neutrinos is just put up a sheet of metal. It'll impact it and you'll have usable energy. You just have to put it through a coil. The coil takes this energy and turns it into a DC impulse. That's what Tesla left out of his patent. He hid it away. He made you concentrate on the capacitor. The coil is the main part of this patent. It's not the capacitor that charges, it's the coil that charges the capacitor. The coil turns this energy into a DC impulse, which then charges the capacitor. It's a reverse reaction that's occurring in his radiant energy patents. So that's how it works. Now for the big secret. If you want to make this 100,000 million times more effective, you can create a network of resistors in little squares in a big grid, or even a big line or a diamond of a bunch of resistors wound together in a big diamond shape and connected to a whatchamacallit, or just connected together in a big diamond, and put a plate or either metal particles over it and a wire in that connected to a coil with a ferrite or iron core, and connect those two with a diode leading to a battery, the two outputs of the coil, to a battery, and it will charge your battery in minutes. And I'm not joking. It is very efficient. No matter if it's deep cycle, no matter if it's 100 amp hours, it will charge in minutes. And this is not a joke. How this works, I will tell you. Take this with a grain of salt, because I'm not entirely sure how this works, but I have a pretty good idea. What occurs is when these neutral particles impact a conductor, they create eddy currents. So basically what happens is the current swirls around in a little circle. But these are neutral particles, so you don't get an actual electronic charge. You actually get a neutral particle swirling around in the metal. Okay, so if you want to create a magnetic field, like these little impacts do, you have to put a resistance in between. So once this resistance is present, when these neutral particles impact your net of resistors, once these neutral particles are flying through, these resistors will have current flowing through them. When they meet the resistance, they create a magnetic torus. This magnetic torus re-radiates the energy out as a solar radiation. It basically reflects the energy out as solar-like radiation from this other energy that's coming in. So the neutrinos, basically. So it reflects and re-radiates out this energy as a different form. And this form is known as radiant energy. So once this radiant energy reflects back out from the neutral particles that are impacting the conductors and the resistors, it is captured in a plate. You place this plate over the network of resistors. This plate collects those radiant energy impulses and creates an impulse down the wire. The impulse down the wire encounters your coil and it speciates into a DC impulse. It basically charges up the coil, and then the coil discharges after it forms a magnetic field into an actual electrical current. So you get a neutral impulse, and then you get a electric impulse discharging. So it actually creates the electrical impulse. So you can see it on an oscilloscope. You can't see it when it's coming off the plate, but you can see it when it comes out of the coil. So when it comes out of the coil, it actually looks like a little impulse train. So you get these little spikes that go positive and negative, and they're just separated by straight lines. So it's pretty cool. These little pulses go right through a diode unaffected, so you don't have to worry about putting the diode in to block the current so your battery doesn't short. You just put it in there and don't worry about it. Just make sure it doesn't short your battery out. You have it facing the right direction. This will charge your battery. You can use this for whatever you want. Learn how to use it with different types of electronics. This is a new form of energy. You don't have to worry about it going through your battery and out to other electronics at all. Just put it right into your battery and it'll charge it. It's perfectly safe. It's non-toxic. It doesn't radiate you. It's not cancerous. It's natural. This is radiant energy. Thank you for watching. This is Michael Ellis.